Snow blankets the rolling Pennsylvania hills, a serene hush falling as dusk descends. In the distance, town lights twinkle like fallen stars, promising warmth against the frigid blue sky. The profound, icy blue of the dusk sky deepens, a stark contrast to the white expanse below. A tranquil, wintry scene unfolds, the silent hills guarding secrets under the vast, darkening sky. Margaret Hill unlocks the diner, the closed sign creaking, snow swirling outside. The diner is quiet, the neon signs glow muffled by the heavy snowfall. The lock clicks, echoing in the stillness as Margaret enters, weary. Outside, snow blankets the windows, blurring the world in a soft white haze. The diner stands alone, a warm light in the cold, snowy night. Margaret's weathered hands turn the sign, revealing a small, cozy diner. The diner is slightly worn, holding memories within its walls. A sense of nostalgia and warmth permeates the air. The sign creaks as it settles, a familiar sound to Margaret. Each detail tells a story of resilience and comfort. The diner stands as a beacon of simple pleasures. Under a starlit sky, Margaret treads a lonely, snow-laden path towards her distant farmhouse. The crisp air bites as she walks, each step marked by the distinct crunch of her boots on the fresh snow. Silence blankets the rural road, amplifying the sound of her measured steps in the serene night. Her silhouette moves against the snowy expanse, a solitary figure embraced by the quiet winter night. Under a blanket of night, Margaret begins her ascent on the narrow, snow-laden trail. Towering pines stand as silent sentinels, their branches weighed down by the heavy snow. The only sound is the crunch of Margaret's boots on the crisp, frozen ground. The air is cold and still, the silence broken only by the wind. The hillside trail is a ribbon of white against the dark forest. Margaret arrives at the graveyard, a silhouette stark against the snow-covered landscape. The headstone is simple, nestled among tall pines, a silent sentinel in the winter night. Snow blankets everything, a soft, mournful hush blanketing her mother's grave. The air hangs heavy with unspoken memories, a poignant reunion in the stillness. Snow falls softly in the graveyard as Margaret kneels, a solitary figure amidst the silent stones. Her gloved hand gently brushes away the fresh snow, revealing the inscription on a weathered gravestone. The cold stone is now visible, a name etched into the solemn surface, a silent testament to a life gone by. With tender care, Margaret places a small bag of bright red apples beside the gravestone. Next to the apples, she sets down a loaf of bread, its simple form a humble offering of sustenance. The gifts rest in the snow, a poignant scene of love and remembrance against the winter's stark backdrop. In the graveyard's biting air, Margaret's breath mists, a visible echo of her unspoken grief. Her face, a canvas of gentle sadness, tells tales of loss and remembrance under the solemn sky. The cold deepens the lines etched by time and sorrow, framing a portrait of quiet resilience. A poignant moment frozen in the stillness, where every breath is a whisper in memory's embrace. Margaret kneels at a weathered headstone, its inscription softened by time and the embrace of creeping moss. The graveyard is eerily still, the air thick with the scent of rain and damp earth. Her voice, a mere whisper, barely rises above the rustling leaves. "The diner's been quiet lately," Margaret says, her voice laced with a hint of melancholy. "Nights are long, but peaceful. I close up early now," she admits to the silent stones. In the silent graveyard, a faint cry pierces the stillness, disturbing the peace among the tombstones. Margaret's head snaps up, her eyes widening with a sudden, sharp alertness. She scans the rows of graves, her senses on high alert, searching for the source of the sound. The air hangs heavy with anticipation as she strains to hear any further sound. Her breath catches, and her heart pounds in her chest, amplifying the tension in the graveyard. A shadow flickers nearby, deepening the mystery and her resolve to investigate. Beneath gnarled trees in the graveyard, Margaret's eyes dart among the shadows, her face etched with growing concern. A mournful cry pierces the silence, hanging heavy in the air. Margaret's breath hitches, a primal fear gripping her heart as she scans the dark tree line. The chilling sound echoes again, now fainter, as if carried on the wind. Her hand instinctively moves to her throat, a silent scream building within. The graveyard seems to hold its breath, awaiting Margaret's next move. In the stark graveyard, Margaret's eyes scan the snow-covered ground, searching for any sign among the silent stones. A dark bundle emerges from the landscape, nestled near a cluster of rocks, half concealed beneath a blanket of snow. Margaret's breath hitches as she focuses on the hidden object, her heart pounding with anticipation and dread. The wind whispers through the graveyard, carrying the scent of winter and secrets toward Margaret. She takes a tentative step closer, her shadow stretching across the untouched snow toward the mysterious bundle. Margaret sprints across the graveyard, her breath misting in the frigid air. Icy ground betrays her frantic pace, each step a precarious dance. Her boots slip, a desperate struggle against the slick, unforgiving earth. She doesn't stop, driven by an unseen, urgent purpose. The bundle awaits, a silent beacon in the desolate, frozen expanse. Margaret's relentless pursuit cuts through the graveyard's stillness. In the desolate graveyard, Margaret collapses to her knees, her face a mask of desperation and grief. Frantic, she tugs at the heavy blanket, her fingers fumbling with the coarse fabric. Each movement is imbued with a raw urgency, a desperate plea against the unyielding earth. The air hangs heavy with unspoken sorrow as she continues her grim task. Her breath hitches, a silent scream trapped in her throat as she pulls harder at the blanket. A chilling close-up reveals the baby's face, lips tinged with blue, a stark testament to the biting cold. The baby's tiny hands tremble, a desperate, silent plea against the graveyard's unforgiving chill. Each shallow breath is visible, a fragile cloud in the frigid air, as the baby shivers uncontrollably. A tear freezes on the baby's cheek, a glistening testament to the graveyard's harsh reality. The baby's eyes flutter weakly, a growing weariness hinting at the encroaching danger of the cold. A desperate whimper escapes the baby's lips, swallowed by the graveyard's silent, watchful stones. In the silent graveyard, Margaret's face is a study in shock. Compassion floods her features, etching lines of sorrow around her eyes. Her breath hitches, a silent gasp lost in the solemn air. Tears begin to well, shimmering droplets, reflecting the gray sky above. Each tear is a story, a burden of grief silently carried. The graveyard watches as Margaret's heart breaks. Margaret stands among the ancient tombstones, the graveyard's silence heavy with untold stories and secrets. Nestled in the blanket's folds, she finds a crumpled note, its message obscured by time and sorrow. A delicate silver necklace, shaped like a star, emerges, its faint glint, a beacon in the dim light. The necklace's delicate craftsmanship hints at a forgotten bond, a silent testament to love and loss. The camera focuses on a weathered note against a moss-covered headstone in the silent graveyard. Faded ink spells out a desperate plea on the aged paper. "Please save this child," the note whispers from beyond the grave. The moss clings to the stone, a silent witness to the haunting message. A close-up reveals the delicate handwriting, a testament to a mother's love. Under the somber sky, Margaret clutches the baby, shielding him from the cold. Her face is etched with fear as she wraps the baby tighter in her coat. She glances back, her eyes wide with terror. Margaret stumbles down the grassy hill, desperate to escape. The gravestones cast long shadows as she flees through the graveyard. Her breath catches in ragged gasps, each step fueled by raw instinct. Margaret bursts into the warm farmhouse, a haven of rustic comfort against the night. She gently lays the sleeping baby on the bed, her movements filled with tender care. The room is sparsely furnished, yet the warmth within offers a sense of safety. Soft light bathes the scene, highlighting the quiet intimacy of the moment. Margaret kneels, a solitary figure before the silent, aged fireplace. The faint scratch of a match breaks the stillness, a prelude to warmth. A fragile flicker ignites the kindling, hope sparking in the dim room. Orange light dances as flames embrace the logs, banishing shadows. A comforting glow spreads, chasing away the chill of the farmhouse. The fire crackles, a beacon of life in the quiet, rustic setting. In the farmhouse, Margaret gently wraps the baby in warm towels, her hands tender and caring in the soft light. She feeds the baby, her face a picture of maternal love and dedication. As hours melt away, the montage captures fleeting moments of tenderness, bonding Margaret and the baby. Time passes in quiet devotion as Margaret cradles the baby, a peaceful tableau against the night. Dawn breaks softly over Margaret's farmhouse, painting the room in gentle light. The baby sleeps peacefully, each breath a quiet reassurance in the still morning air. Margaret sits vigil, exhaustion etched on her face, a silent guardian. Relief washes over her, a gentle wave in the quiet sanctuary of the room. The peaceful scene embodies a mother's love, quiet strength in the face of dawn. Dawn bathes Margaret's farmhouse as sunlight warmly embraces a sleeping baby. Margaret watches over the baby, a soft, loving smile gracing her lips. Tears begin to well in Margaret's eyes, reflecting a mix of joy and sorrow. "I guess you came to me for a reason," Margaret whispers, hope in her voice. Sunlight warms Margaret as she sits in the rocking chair, cradling the baby, a peaceful aura around them. Dust motes dance, illuminated by the sun, as she softly gazes at the infant in her arms. A gentle smile touches her lips, a silent promise of protection and love reflected in her eyes. The room fills with quiet contemplation, a sanctuary of peace in the heart of the farmhouse. "Samuel," she whispers, her voice barely audible above the soft creaks of the rocking chair. "It feels steady," Margaret murmurs, a sense of calm washing over her as she holds the baby close. Years drift by at Margaret's farmhouse, marked by seasons of growth and change. A time lapse. Samuel, a babe in arms, begins his journey through life. From toddler's first steps to a young boy's boundless energy, time marches on. Each year etches memories into the walls of the farmhouse, a silent witness. Inside Margaret's farmhouse, sunlight streams onto a rustic kitchen, illuminating dust motes in the air. At the wooden kitchen table, young Samuel, only 3, concentrates intensely, his brow furrowed in thought. Small fingers trace along, carefully counting, revealing a surprising intelligence in his focused gaze. He pauses, tilting his head slightly, a spark of curiosity flickering in his bright, innocent eyes. The simple act of counting transforms into a captivating display of early brilliance and quiet determination. Sunlight floods Margaret's farmhouse, illuminating dust motes, dancing in the air like tiny, glittering stars. At a small wooden table sits Samuel, his brow furrowed in deep concentration, lost in thought. Sheets of paper surround him, filled with vibrant drawings and enigmatic strings of numbers. He chews thoughtfully on the end of his pencil, a sign of his intense focus. Samuel is utterly absorbed, a young mind grappling with the fascinating world of mathematics. Sunlight streams into Margaret's diner, illuminating dust motes dancing in the air. Margaret watches Samuel, her heart swelling with maternal affection. Samuel's infectious laughter echoes through the cozy diner. Samuel runs near the counter, his small world filled with joy. "Mom!" Samuel calls out, his voice filled with innocent glee. Margaret's loving gaze never leaves her son, a silent promise of protection. Inside Margaret's diner, time flows as calendar pages peel away, each one a silent marker of passing days. Sunlight shifts through the diner's windows, painting the booths in hues of morning gold and twilight blue. Seasons morph outside, from blossoming spring to fiery autumn, reflected in the diner's steadfast windows. The rhythmic changing of the seasons tells the tale of years gone by. The diner stands unchanged, a beacon in the relentless march of time. Margaret's Diner, a timeless tableau against the backdrop of fleeting seasons. Margaret's Diner stands humbly as a new chain restaurant bursts onto the scene across the street. The new restaurant's bright neon signs flash, a stark contrast to the diner's familiar glow. Crowds gather, drawn to the modern allure of the new establishment. The flashing lights reflect on the faces of the curious onlookers, eager to explore. A sense of change hangs heavy in the air, the future uncertain for Margaret's Diner. Empty booths stretch into the distance, shadows clinging to the vinyl in Margaret's quiet diner. Margaret wipes down the tables, her movements slow, a deep worry etched onto her face. The silence amplifies, broken only by the faint clink of cutlery, a stark sign of decline. Each wiped surface is a silent testament to a fading dream, a business in visible decline. Inside Margaret's Diner, young Samuel sits quietly, lost in thought. He stares out the window, his gaze fixed on the restaurant across the street. Neon lights cast long, flickering shadows into the diner. The diner glows softly, a stark contrast to the vibrant lights outside. Samuel's face is illuminated by the neon glow, a mixture of longing. He is trapped between two worlds, lost in his own thoughts. Inside Margaret's Diner, Samuel swings his legs, the worn vinyl squeaking softly. He gazes out the window, a thoughtful expression clouding his young features. His brow furrows, a child's concern etched on his face. A quiet observation hangs in the air, a question of value and satisfaction. "Mom," Samuel says, his voice barely a whisper. People leave there, looking hungry. The diner glows warmly, a haven against the night. Margaret's face, etched with exhaustion, is bathed in soft light. A weary smile touches her lips. She watches her customers, a comforting presence in the bustling diner. "Honey, they're eating plenty," Margaret says softly, a motherly assurance. Inside Margaret's Diner, Samuel shakes his head, his face etched with concern. His expression conveys a deep worry. Samuel states with conviction, "They eat fast food. We make comfort food." His words hang in the air, a solemn declaration in the warm diner. Sunlight floods Margaret's bustling diner kitchen, illuminating every corner with warmth and promise. Samuel and Margaret stir a large pot, their movements synchronized by years of shared labor and affection. Aromatic steam rises, carrying the rich scents of simmering vegetables and a secret blend of spices. "You know, this reminds me of your mother's cold summer soup. Remember that?" Samuel says. In the bustling kitchen, Margaret pauses, her expression flickering with doubt. The scent of frying bacon hangs in the air. She leans forward, intently listening to Samuel's idea, her eyes searching, weighing the possibilities. A subtle nod betrays her inner thoughts, a silent acknowledgement of Samuel's vision. Trust deepens the lines around her eyes as she decides to embrace the unknown. Margaret's resolve hardens. A new plan begins to form amidst the diner's morning chaos. The kitchen's familiar sounds become a backdrop to a pivotal decision, the fate of the diner hanging in the balance. Margaret's Diner buzzes with life, every table occupied. A symphony of laughter and clinking silverware fills the air. Sunlight streams through the windows, illuminating the happy faces of returning customers. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee mingles with the sweet scent of Margaret's famous apple pie. Waitresses bustle between tables, their aprons starched, smiles as bright as the chrome on the counter. Each bite is a testament to Margaret's cooking, a comforting taste of home in every dish. The diner is more than just a place to eat. It's a hub of community, warmth, and shared joy. Margaret's diner buzzes with life, sunlight streaming through the windows, tables bustling with customers. The air is filled with cheerful chatter and the clinking of cutlery, a symphony of renewed vitality. Each face reflects the warmth and vibrancy that Samuel's idea has brought back to the diner. Laughter and smiles abound, painting a vivid picture of a community thriving together once more. Margaret's diner buzzes, the scent of coffee thick in the air. Daniel Brooks enters, his tailored suit a stark contrast. Gray hair frames his face, etched with years and secrets. His intense eyes scan the room, piercing and observant. He moves with purpose, a man on a mission. The diner's chatter fades as he approaches a booth. Inside Margaret's diner, Daniel is seated, his focus absolute. Behind the counter, Samuel works, unaware of the intensity directed his way. Daniel's stare is fixed, unwavering, a silent observation. The diner buzzes with activity, yet Daniel remains detached. His eyes narrow slightly, an intensity building with each passing moment. Daniel's gaze betrays a hidden intent, a story untold. Inside Margaret's diner, time seems to slow, every detail magnified. Samuel leans forward, a subtle shift in his posture hinting at unspoken intentions. A silver star necklace emerges from beneath his shirt, catching the light. The necklace gleams, a silent symbol laden with hidden meaning and promise. In Margaret's diner, Daniel's hands tremble, a subtle tremor betraying an inner turmoil. The shaking intensifies, a visible sign of mounting dread as his body betrays him. Recognition flickers in his eyes, the first spark of understanding igniting a slow burn. Creeping horror washes over his face, each wave eroding his composure. His features contort, a silent scream trapped behind his eyes as the realization hits. The diner's hum fades into a background drone as Daniel confronts his inner demons. Inside Margaret's diner, time blurs into a flashback as snow falls softly outside, framing a tender moment. Daniel presents a necklace, its delicate chain catching the light as he offers it to the woman. The diner glows warmly against the snowy backdrop, a haven for a shared, intimate exchange. The falling snow whispers promises as the necklace changes hands, a silent vow exchanged. The diner fades back into focus, the harsh reality of the present replacing the soft glow of memory. Daniel sits alone, the remnants of his flashback clinging to him like a ghost. His hands tremble slightly as he grips his coffee cup, the warmth doing little to ease his chill. Hope flickers in his eyes, battling against the overwhelming dread that threatens to consume him. He is visibly shaken, caught between the promise of the past and the uncertainty of the future. DNA test documents lay stark against the dark wood, a crumpled tissue, a silent witness to unspoken grief. Trembling hands reach for a picture frame, the glass reflecting a distorted image of pain and disbelief. Each photograph reveals a smiling young girl, her innocent joy now, a haunting reminder of what's lost. The photos are picked up, each one a painful memory. Inside Margaret's diner, Daniel gestures. His expression is urgent. Sunlight streams through the windows, highlighting the dust motes dancing in the air. An expensive car gleams outside, a stark contrast to the diner's humble facade. The car's presence hints at a story unfolding, a silent promise of wealth and conflict. Inside Margaret's diner, Daniel's bloodshot eyes reflect desperation as he extends a trembling hand. A wad of cash is displayed in his palm, a desperate offering in the harsh light of the diner. His voice cracks as he pleads with Margaret, the weight of his request heavy in the air. "Margaret, please. Name your price," he begs, his voice raw with anxiety. "Money, a new house, anything. Just let me take Samuel," Daniel pleads, eyes filled with torment. Margaret stands firm, arms crossed, a fortress of calm amidst the diner's morning chaos. The comforting aroma of coffee and frying bacon swirls around her, a familiar embrace. Her voice steady, she declares, "I didn't give birth to him," resonating with conviction. A subtle shift in her gaze, then, "But I raised him," she finishes, her love a quiet strength. Bacon sizzles, cutlery clatters. Margaret's diner buzzes with life. Margaret sits, her face a map of time, her eyes distant and kind. Wisdom and warmth radiate from her as she gathers her thoughts. A quiet strength underlies every word she speaks. She pauses, a faint smile gracing her lips with subtle memory. "And he saved me, long before I saved him," she says softly. In Margaret's diner, Samuel's gaze darts between Daniel and Margaret, apprehension battling resolve. A silent moment hangs heavy as the weight of his decision settles upon him. His eyes narrow, a flicker of defiance igniting within him as he steels himself. He takes a breath, the air thick with unspoken tensions and the aroma of old coffee. The diner buzzes with hushed anticipation as Samuel prepares to reveal his choice. In Margaret's diner, Samuel strides purposefully, his gaze locked on Margaret. The air is thick with unspoken anticipation as he moves with resolve. He reaches Margaret, his eyes conveying a depth of emotion. Samuel takes Margaret's hand, a silent promise passing between them. Their connection, a beacon of hope amidst the diner's hum. Years later, the sun-drenched porch of Margaret's farmhouse radiates a sense of serene timelessness. Older Margaret sits, her silver hair catching the light, a portrait of peaceful resilience etched in every line of her face. The weathered wood of the porch whispers tales of seasons past, bearing silent witness to Margaret's enduring spirit. Her eyes, though aged, hold a spark of youthful memory, reflecting a life lived fully under the open sky. A gentle breeze rustles through the nearby fields, carrying the scent of earth and the echoes of laughter long gone. In her quiet solitude, Margaret embodies the strength and beauty of a life deeply rooted in the land. Samuel, radiating success, arrives at Margaret's farmhouse, a beacon of hope against the rustic backdrop. A wide, genuine smile lights up Samuel's face as he approaches the porch, eager anticipation in his eyes. He ascends the steps, each footfall echoing the passage of time and the journey back to his roots. His smile widens, revealing a warmth that bridges the years of separation and unspoken memories. Samuel embraces Margaret, a heartfelt hug conveying gratitude and deep affection. The hug speaks volumes, a silent testament to enduring bonds and the solace of returning home. Sunlight warms the farmhouse porch where Samuel sits, his presence a quiet promise beside Margaret. He gently holds Margaret's hand, a tender connection forming between them in the tranquil setting. Samuel's face reflects a deep, heartfelt gratitude, his eyes conveying unspoken emotions. A peaceful, shared moment unfolds as they sit together, framed by the rustic charm of the farmhouse. Sunlight bathes Margaret's farmhouse porch, where Samuel stands, his gaze fixed on her with unconcealed love. Every line in his face speaks of gratitude and deep affection as he looks at Margaret. His voice, soft with emotion, breaks the silence. "You kept me alive." Margaret's reaction is unseen, leaving Samuel's words hanging in the air. Margaret's gentle smile reflects the quiet beauty of the rolling hills before her. A peacefulness settles over Margaret as she surveys her land, a serene glow on her face. The stillness of the farmhouse porch amplifies Margaret's solitary moment of reflection. "No," she replies softly, gratitude coloring her tone. "You gave my life back." Snow begins to fall on Margaret's porch, soft and gentle. Each snowflake whispers a memory of a night that changed everything. The porch stands silent, a witness to secrets buried beneath the snow. The farmhouse glows faintly, a beacon in the softly falling snow. A sense of peace settles with the snow, yet the air is heavy with the past. The gentle snowfall veils the porch, blurring the line between memory and reality. Snow falls softly on Margaret's farmhouse porch, a scene of winter's quiet embrace. Margaret and Samuel sit together, radiating peace in the snow-covered landscape. A pristine blanket of white covers the surroundings, highlighting their serene presence. Their contentment is a warm contrast to the cold beauty of the falling snow. Inside Margaret's bustling diner, sunlight streams in as young Samuel helps with the morning chores. Samuel's brow furrows in concentration, revealing a natural aptitude for numbers and patterns. He arranges silverware with precision, each movement reflecting a sharp, observant mind. Margaret watches Samuel, a warm smile gracing her lips as she witnesses his potential. In the diner's warm glow, Margaret gently tucks Samuel into his small bed, shadows dancing around them. Her calloused hands move with feather-light grace as she adjusts the covers around the sleeping child. Margaret opens a worn book, its pages filled with tales of strong women, their spirits ready to ignite. Her voice, soft yet firm, fills the quiet space as she reads, shaping his young mind with each word. I watch them, a surge of love and hope washing over me as I witness this tender moment. Bathed in sunlight, Samuel sits outside the town library, a sanctuary brimming with untold stories and forgotten knowledge. He turns pages filled with complex equations, his expression revealing a hunger that transcends the mere acquisition of knowledge. Scientific diagrams dance before his eyes, each symbol a gateway to unlocking the universe's deepest mysteries. An extraordinary intellect shines through the intensity of his gaze, a spark of genius waiting to ignite the world. Lost in thought, he embodies the insatiable human drive to understand the cosmos and his place within its vast expanse. In Margaret's diner, the aroma of coffee mixes with frying bacon as Samuel watches Margaret, a thoughtful frown on his face. Samuel, nursing his coffee, speaks with gentle curiosity. "Margaret, mind if I offer a suggestion?" Margaret, ever welcoming, replies warmly. "Samuel, honey, you know you can say anything to me. What's on your mind?" Samuel proposes. "I think there might be a few ways to streamline things." Margaret's eyes widen with newfound respect. "You know, Samuel, that's actually a pretty good idea. I might just give that a try." Neon light spills into Margaret's diner, where Margaret and Samuel are sitting in the warm glow. Steam curls from coffee as Margaret confesses, "I'm barely making ends meet, Samuel." Salt and pepper shakers stand between them, tiny witnesses to her growing despair. Samuel's face clouds with empathy as he replies softly, "I'm sorry to hear that, Margaret." Margaret's voice cracks, a raw nerve exposed. "Every month it's a struggle." Her eyes glisten with unshed tears as she admits, defeated, "It's hard to admit, but I'm scared." In the bustling town square, Samuel observes the grand opening. Banners fluttering, a costumed mascot dances. His gaze scans the crowd, absorbing the energy of the event, an intent look etched on his face. Samuel studies marketing strategies, his eyes sharp, dissecting customer service techniques with precision. He watches interactions between staff and customers, every detail feeding his analysis of the scene. Sunlight floods Margaret's diner, highlighting the checkered floors and red vinyl booths. Samuel, in a crisp shirt, gestures enthusiastically, his energy filling the classic diner. Margaret wipes the counter, her movements practiced, a silent observer to Samuel's pitch. Margaret, I've been thinking, Samuel begins, his voice eager with anticipation. He outlines his vision. We need a way to keep these customers coming back. A loyalty program, maybe? Something to show them we appreciate their business. Sunlight floods Margaret's diner, where Samuel, a culinary whirlwind, crafts innovative dishes. He meticulously blends spices, a half-eaten plate nearby hinting at relentless dedication. The aroma of comfort food, subtly enhanced, fills the air, promising an experience. Skeptical kitchen staff watch with amusement as Samuel experiments. The diner thrives, drawn by Samuel's inventive menu, a testament to his culinary skill. Margaret's diner glows warmly, its polished surfaces reflecting a night of bustling activity. Margaret beams at Samuel, her face a map of hard work and deep satisfaction. We did it, Samuel. We really did it, Margaret says, pride coloring her tone. Samuel smiles back, echoing her joy. To us, to our dream, finally come true. The bell above the door jingles, slicing through the diner's calm. A palpable tension descends, a dark cloud over the once warm diner. Daniel's arrival casts a long shadow across the checkered floor. Margaret pauses, rag in hand, her eyes darting nervously. Wiping the counter, her movements become stiff and uncertain. The familiar diner now feels like a stage set for a drama. Inside Margaret's diner, Daniel leans forward, his warm smile reaching across the checkered floor to Samuel. Steam curls from coffee cups, a fleeting veil between two worlds, two men. Sunlight paints long shadows as Daniel gestures, weaving tales of his youth. A soft laugh escapes him, a glimpse into a life vastly different from Samuel's. He offers stories, trying to bridge the gap, to connect heart to heart. Samuel listens, face unreadable, a silent observer in the sunlit diner. Humming fluorescent lights cast a harsh glow on the red vinyl booths of Margaret's diner. Samuel, lost in thought, sits alone, an untouched burger growing cold before him. A storm brews behind Samuel's eyes, mirroring the diner's lonely atmosphere. A lone trucker nurses his coffee, a silent witness in the mostly empty diner. The air hangs heavy with the scent of grease and a palpable sense of regret. Sunlight floods Margaret's diner as Margaret and Daniel face off, steam rising from their coffees. Margaret insists. He needs stability, Daniel. A solid foundation. Daniel retorts. Stability, or a gilded cage? Samuel needs to explore. Margaret fires back. His path led him to failing grades and a mountain of debt. Daniel argues, that's not a path, Margaret. That's a predetermined sentence. Margaret scoffs. It's honest work. Better than chasing some pipe dream. Inside Margaret's diner, Samuel rises, his face a canvas of heavy choices and silent resolves. His gaze meets Margaret's, a promise unspoken yet understood, binding them in shared understanding. A subtle smile graces his lips, a beacon of resolve amidst the diner's warm, bustling atmosphere. He nods, the movements small but decisive, sealing their pact in the heart of the familiar diner. The bond between Samuel and Margaret is reaffirmed, as strong as the diner's ever-present coffee aroma. Margaret and Samuel walk hand in hand, their breath misting in the crisp Pennsylvania air. The snow-covered hills stretch endlessly, mirroring their enduring love. A pristine white landscape underscores the purity of their commitment. The serene beauty of the day reflects the depth of their shared journey.